18 Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
One of the Benghazi whistleblowers said he's being punished for speaking out. Also, as we get closer, activists want to defund Obamacare, and I have my latest forecast for Wednesday. But first, an unexpected turn in President Obama's campaign for an attack on Syria. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dustin Kopp. Our top story at this hour, Russia has stepped in with a game-changing proposal. While some see it as a ploy by Syria's strongest ally to gain time, it could be a way for President Obama to save face and avoid taking action that's increasingly popular with Congress and the American people. Charlene Israel has more.
President Obama addresses the nation tonight, calling for action against the Syrian government. But a possible diplomatic breakthrough could give a reluctant country the option it's been waiting for.
Is military strike on pause?
Absolutely.
President Obama told ABC's Diane Sawyer that the Assad regime could avoid a military strike if it turns over its chemical weapons.
I want to make sure that that norm against use of chemical weapons is maintained. If we can do that without a military strike, that is overwhelmingly my preference.
The suggestion was first made by Secretary of State John Kerry, but Russia quickly declared its support and got Damascus on board. President Obama called the proposal a potentially positive development, but he says it doesn't mean Congress should withdraw the threat of military action.
If, in fact, the choice is between a world in which dictators and other countries start believing it's acceptable to use chemical weapons on civilians and children, that will make it more dangerous for us.
But opposition on Capitol Hill to a military strike is growing. The president only has 44 votes in the House. 217 are needed. Even the Democratic-controlled Senate appears in doubt. Lawmakers using the new diplomatic developments to avoid or delay a vote on military action.
I see too much risk that a military strike could do more harm than good.
Meanwhile, Syrian President Bashar Assad remains defiant. In an interview with CBS This Morning's Charlie Rose, he again issued a threat to the U.S.
If you strike somewhere, you have to expect the repercussions somewhere else in different forms, in a way that you don't expect.
But President Obama seemed to rule out any real Syrian retaliation.
Understand, Assad's capabilities are not significant compared to ours.
Now the American people and the international community wait to see how all of the new developments play out.
That was Charlene Israel reporting. The latest polling figures show a majority of Americans are still against a U.S. military strike. 61% of those surveyed say they want Congress to vote against it. Only 26% want Congress to vote in favor. The Russian proposal just may avert a U.S. military strike on Syria, but Israel is continuing to beef up its defense in case of a retaliatory attack. Chris Mitchell has more.
Russia's foreign minister made the proposal, and Syria quickly welcomed the idea for the international community to collect and destroy Syria's chemical weapons.
Syria welcomes the Russian proposal out of concern for the lives of the Syrian people, the security of our country, and because it believes in the wisdom of the Russian leadership that seeks to avert American aggression against our people.
Washington is skeptical of the Russian-Syrian proposal and says Congress should vote to keep the pressure on Syrian President Assad.
It's clear that this proposal comes in the context of the threat of U.S. action and the pressure that the president is exerting. So it's even more important that we don't take the pressure off and that Congress give the president the authority he's requested.
The Senate decided to delay its vote so it could consider Russia's proposal. In the meantime, Israel has distanced itself from the Syrian civil war and the U.S. buildup. But they could face retaliatory attacks from Syria in case of a U.S. military strike. So the government is taking no chances. We're in the hills on the outskirts of Jerusalem, and behind me is the Iron Dome anti-missile battery system. This marks the first time the Israeli army has ever deployed an active missile defense system in the Jerusalem area. Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon said earlier that Israel is ready to deal with the consequences of a U.S. military strike on Syria. Israelis are still lining up for gas masks, and for now the world is waiting to see who will make the next move. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, the Hills of Jerusalem.
The Bismarck Police Department is asking for the public's help in locating a juvenile missing since 9 p.m. last Thursday from the Bismarck area. 14-year-old Christopher Stewart is believed to be in the St. Louis area. Police do not suspect foul play. It is believed Stewart left his home on his own accord to stay with his birth mother. If you have any information, please contact the Bismarck Police Department at 573-431-3131 or 573-734-2777. Temperatures across the area definitely on the warm side here in southeast Missouri. 89 right now in St. Genevieve, Fredericktown 86, 88 in Ellington, and 90 right now in Cape Girardeau. Let's take a look at that forecast throughout the evening hours. Pretty much a clear sky, 88 degrees and mostly clear at 7 p.m., 82 by 9. By midnight, down to about 76 rather. I'll have more details on your forecast coming up in just a little bit.
You're watching 18 Eyewitness News with Brett Dawkins and Dustin Kopp. 18 Eyewitness News continues.
One of the Benghazi whistleblowers said he's being punished for speaking out about the Obama administration's response the night of the attack. Gregory Hicks was the deputy chief of the mission in Libya. He testified before Congress about the Benghazi attack earlier this year, saying that at least 2 of the American lives lost could have been saved if the United States had responded in time.
I don't know exactly what was available. I still don't quite understand why they couldn't fly aircraft over to Benghazi. When I was a kid, I grew up watching Western movies, and the cavalry always came. I just thought that they would come.
Now Hicks claims the State Department is punishing him for speaking out. He said he hasn't been reassigned to a post since being called back from Libya. The State Department denied the accusations and said it's working on reassigning him. The Clearwater Ministerial Alliance needs your help. They currently have a shortage of non-perishable foods in their food pantry. Local AARP Chapter 1270 is holding a Stuff a Truck campaign in Piedmont and Greenville. Organizer Thera Sisson says there is a great need for food.
I spoke with somebody from the Ministerial Alliance the other day, and they said the pantries are really getting low. There are so many people in need of food right now. So that is what we're trying to do, is to get food donated, money donated, so that we can take it to the food pantry to help the people that are in need of food.
As Thera said, they're also taking monetary donations. If you are interested in helping out, the event takes place on Wednesday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Piedmont Dollar General and Alp stores, as well as Richard's Supermarket in Greenville. For more information, visit our website, kdkz18.com. An early morning fire at the UPS distribution center in Farmington destroyed 4 trucks and a portion of the building. The fire started shortly after 1 a.m. on Monday. No injuries were reported. One employee was inside the building when the fire broke out, but managed to escape unharmed. The fire took about 30 minutes to extinguish. The State Fire Marshal's office has been called in for a criminal investigation. We'll, of course, keep you updated on this on KDKZ18.com. Nigeria's second highest ranking Anglican archbishop has been kidnapped. Officials say Archbishop Ignatius Kadi and his wife Beatrice were abducted Friday near their home in the southern city of Port Harcourt. His wife was later released unharmed. Archbishop Kadi is the dean of the Anglican Communion in the country. Police say no ransom has been demanded. Kidnappings of foreigners and wealthy Nigerians are common in Nigeria, with most released after ransom payment. But Islamists have killed a number of hostages in the northern part of the city. When we come back, as we get closer, activists want to defund Obamacare. That story coming up. This is coverage you can count on.
Take control of your future by enrolling at the Unitech Career Center. Discover a new career with Unitech's nursing programs or the opportunities with Unitech's sheet metal fabricating program, or turn your hobby into a career with Unitech's power sports equipment program. From electrical trades to automotive technology programs, the first step to a well-paying future starts at the Unitech Career Center, Raider Road in Bonne Terre. For adult information, call 358-3011. For high school information, call 358-2271.
The start date for enrolling in the Affordable Care Act is October 1st. As the nation gets closer to that date, activists who wanted to fund Obamacare are putting more pressure on legislators. On Tuesday, they brought thousands of protesters to Washington, D.C. for an event called Exempt America. The lineup of speakers included Senator Rand Paul, Senator Ted Cruz, Michelle Bachmann, and other Tea Party heavyweights. A St. Louis Magazine publisher is facing 5 felony charges in connection with the death of a Cape Girardeau tattoo artist, Samuel Francis. Court records indicate that 42-year-old Brent Byrne, the publisher of Full Throttle Midwest Magazine, was charged with second-degree murder, armed criminal action, tampering with a witness, second-degree assault, and felonious restraint. A second man, 43-year-old Otter Plopper of French Village, was charged with felony abandonment of a corpse. 49-year-old Melvin Scherer of Bonne Terre was charged last month with first-degree murder, armed criminal action, felonious restraint, abandonment of a corpse, and tampering with physical evidence in connection with the Francis death. According to a probable cause affidavit filed in the case against Bourne, witnesses reported Bourne watched Scherer attack Francis with a baseball bat, participated in the assault, and threatened witnesses with similar treatment to keep them quiet, pointing a gun at some individuals at the scene. Court records also indicate witnesses said Plopper was present during the assault, left with Scherer and Francis, and later admitted to helping dispose of Francis's body. Bourne's bond was set at $250,000, while bond for Plopper was set at $10,000. Missouri lawmakers plan to focus on teacher tenure this week. The legislators' Joint Committee on Education has scheduled a hearing on the issue Tuesday at the Capitol. The Missouri teachers generally receive tenure after working in a district for 5 years, but lawmakers have been debating revisions in the system for the past several years. Critics contend that the process of firing teachers in Missouri is too expensive and too cumbersome. Supporters of tenure argue it allows teachers to become advocates for their students. They say significant changes could prompt good teachers to leave Missouri. Most people can't even imagine facing life on the streets, but for a Texas man, that almost became a reality. That is until his caseworker went above and beyond to help him out. Seth Miller has been in Texas state care for 11 years and recently aged out of the foster care system and had no family or home. He lived out of his car for a while and was worried that he would eventually end up on the street. That's when Seth's court-appointed caseworker stepped in.
He called and he told me that he was homeless. My goal is to make it better. That's what we're working on.
Virginia Barrett has known Seth since he was 7, and she volunteered to help him adjust to life as an adult. She gathered donations to help Seth rent and furnish his apartment. Because of Virginia's help, Seth can now focus on finishing school and his job. We'll be right back with weather.
On the road, off the road, or on the water, your ultimate outdoor toy store, Midwest Sports Center in Farmington, has what you're looking for. Street bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, side-by-sides, jet skis. Midwest Sports Center has the largest selection and the absolute lowest prices. Get to Midwest Sports Center on Walker Drive, Farmington today to see for yourself. Midwest Sports Center, your ultimate outdoor toy store.
Ain't looking for nothing but a good time, and it don't get better than this.
Here is your Storm Tracker forecast.
And welcome back. Mostly sunny skies out there right now. Definitely a warm one. 91 degrees is our current temperature, but it feels like 93 out there. Current dew point 66 with 42% humidity and a south-southwest wind at 5 miles per hour. Throughout southeast Missouri, we're seeing those temperatures on the warm side, that's for sure. St. Genevieve at 89, Fredericktown 86, and 88 right now in Ellington. Across the state of Missouri, still seeing those temperatures on the warm side as well. 92 in Kansas City, 90 in Columbia, Springfield at 89, and St. Louis right now at 91. Here's what our weather headlines look like. The temperatures will continue to be warm for another day or so. More summer-like feel, but it looks like some cooler air is going to be moving in towards the end of the week. Here's what our forecast looks like. We're under that dome of hot air here in southeast Missouri and seeing some sunshine as well, but we do have a little bit of cooler air coming in. I'll show you that in the 7-day forecast. Here's what our forecast looks like this evening. Mostly clear skies for 7 p.m., about 88 degrees, 82 by 9, and by midnight 76 with clear skies. As you notice, the days are getting shorter, that's for sure, here in southeast Missouri. 65 to 70 and clear skies for tonight. We'll see a light to variable wind. For tomorrow, it's going to be a hot one out there. And we're going to see mostly sunny skies, 93 to 96. Looking ahead the next couple of days here in southeast Missouri, we will be seeing on Thursday and Friday plenty of sunshine. A little bit cooler on your Thursday, 89 degrees, but much cooler on your Friday at 78. Can't complain about that. That's definitely football weather right there. More cooler weather moves in for your Saturday, 75 and sunny. Mostly sunny and 80 on Sunday, Monday 81. And Tuesday, 77 and partly sunny. I think this is a picture-perfect 7-day forecast. Don't forget, you can get the latest weather information on our website. That's KDKZ18.com.
I'm Stacey Johnson. Why is this woman smiling? Because she knows how to take care of her skin without busting her budget. It's something you're going to learn coming up on Money Talks News.
Get your latest Storm Tracker weather forecast daily on the radio. Froggy 96, 95.9 FM, and Kickin' Country 105, 104.9 FM. When you're recovering from a traumatic injury, the last thing you need is an unexpected bill. Because most health insurers pay only a part of air transport, Archair Medical has a solution, the Omni Advantage program. For a membership fee of $49 per year, Omni Advantage guarantees you and other covered family members will not have to pay anything that your health insurer doesn't provide. In an extraordinary emergency, the last thing you need to worry about is cost. Contact Archair Medical or visit them on the web to discover all the advantages of Omni Advantage.
Now here is this week's Melinda Myers Gardening Moment.
If your bearded iris are overgrown like this or failed to bloom in spring, it's time to dig, divide, and replant for better bloom next season. Start the process about 6 to 8 weeks after the iris flowered or, in some cases, should have bloomed. Carefully lift the clump out of the ground with a shovel or garden fork. Now separate the thick, fleshy rhizomes. Cut away and discard old, leafless, shriveled, boar-infested, or rotted rhizomes. Next, cut the leaves down to 4 to 6 inches to reduce moisture loss. Amend the soil with compost or other organic matter before planting your divisions. Set your iris in place, spread out roots, and cover them with soil. The rhizomes should be even with the soil surface in heavy soils and just slightly lower in sandy soils. Water to help remove air pockets and get your iris off to a good growing start. I'm Melinda Myers. Check out our website for this and other gardening tips.
$200 for face cream, $30 for shampoo. Beauty products can be expensive, but there are things you can save on. Money expert Stacey Johnson spoke with a dermatologist for advice.
From beauty balms to corrective creams, Americans spend billions on skincare every year. But spend a lot on stuff like this, and you could be washing money down the drain. We talked to a dermatologist about where you might be able to save and where it might be worth it to spend a buck or two.
5 things that you can save your money on is shampoos, conditioners, facial washes and cleansers, lotions, moisturizers, and even sunscreen.
But drugstore wrinkle fighters and even expensive department store creams may not do the trick. It may be worth spending some money to get a doctor's advice.
I think that a lot of the ingredients over the counter are a different concentration than what you can get from a doctor's office. Sometimes a cream is going to be the best option, but sometimes it isn't. And I think that you do need an educated professional to help you distinguish what's going to be the best for you.
If you're using retinol, this doctor says pharmaceutical grade's the best, so you'll need a prescription. Cost up to $200, and insurance probably won't cover it. Serious wrinkles can be treated with injectable fillers and muscle immobilizers, but they cost several $100s for each area. You can also use laser treatments for discoloration and wrinkles, but that can run into the thousands. Bottom line, when it comes to proper care of your skin, your face, and your hair, budget beauty products are probably just fine for most people. If you are going to spend the extra money, you might want to do it at a place like a dermatologist. For more information, go to moneytalksnews.com and just do a search for skincare. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacey Johnson. Love saving when you shop? Get the free Money Talks newsletter. It only takes 7 seconds to sign up, and it's full of deals and news you'll really use. Do it now at moneytalksnews.com.
As Stacey said, he's got more information and links at his website. To get there, just go to our website and click on the Money Talks link under the Lifestyles menu. We'll be right back.
Battery problems. It happens every time you want to do something. You just want to mow the yard, right? You've got to make it to that big meeting on time, and your watch quits. You got to be somewhere, and your car won't start. Right in the middle of a conversation, and the battery conks out on your cell phone. For every kind of battery.
Welcome back. The CDC now predicts that 42% of Americans will be obese by the year 2030, double that amount just a generation ago. In their effort to curb America's weight problem, scientists at Ohio State have made a promising step. As Clark Powell shows us, researchers in the lab are now able to melt away belly fat with a simple injection.
Doctors say the biggest threat to the 90 million Americans who are obese is the weight they carry in their midsection. It's there that so-called visceral fat surrounds our vital organs and poses several risks.
Like type 2 diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular disease. And it's extremely difficult to remove this particular part of fat.
But researchers at Ohio State's Comprehensive Cancer Center have taken an important first step in doing just that, by using good fat to melt away harmful white fat. In the past, scientists have tried injecting white fat with energy-burning brown fat cells, but they are immediately killed by the immune system. So researchers at Ohio State came up with this: ingenious capsules that carry brown fat cells into white fat and hide them from the immune system. The key is the capsule.
It's small enough that it won't allow immune cells to get inside and kill the cells inside the capsule, but it's large enough to allow proteins and hormones and things like that to pass in and out.
And when they do, white fat begins to burn. In a new study, researchers here fed mice a high-fat diet and injected these capsules into their midsection, and in just 80 days saw a dramatic difference.
Unlike any other treatment we have, we find out that these mice lose 20% of visceral fat.
That's 20% of visceral fat gone in less than 90 days, and a promising new step toward battling obesity in the future. At Ohio State's Comprehensive Cancer Center, this is Clark Powell reporting.
Now researchers at Ohio State have been trying the injections on obese pets like cats and dogs. They say the approach is extremely safe and even reversible. Human tests are still a few years away. That is today's Your Health. We'll be right back. And that does it for 18 Eyewitness News. Stay connected with us by visiting our website, KDKZ18.com, and like us on Facebook. We'll see you next time.
When you see news happening in your area, let us know about it. You can call our news department at 573-701-9590 or email us at news@DawkinsBroadcastGroup.com.